So one of the questions that I get often, almost on a daily basis, is how much is this going to cost me? And I think that's a very good question and obviously a very important question, but I think a more important question is how will you bill me? And then we'll talk about how much does it cost. But as I've stated elsewhere, what we do is we offer a flat fee system. So that means that all the fees will be agreed to in advance. I'm not going to bill you based on my time. I'm going to bill you on what we agreed to when we first meet. So that means you can call me, you can email me, and you're not going to receive any bills. There's not going to be any surprises after you and I agree to what the fee structure is. That said, how much is it going to cost? Plans can run anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000 depending on how involved you want me to be and the different levels of planning that we talk about. And I do not expect that to be paid all at once. I do accept payment plans as well as I accept credit cards, and that is something that we can certainly work out, and it'll be agreed to in advance. What should I expect, and do you offer a free consultation? So I do not offer a free consultation, but we can certainly work with you if you are willing to do your homework in advance and secure your appointment time with me. I will waive that initial consultation fee. It's called a family wealth planning session, and it typically runs $750, but we spend 2 hours together talking about, and you get to educate me about what's going on with your family and your unique situation, and I can educate you about how the law will apply to your family situation. So there's a lot of benefit to it, but I do waive the fee if you are willing to do the homework in advance. Homework it's pretty intensive. This is estate planning, and you're talking about your death. It's fairly intensive. I usually try to give you 2 weeks to complete all the paperwork, and I ask for deeds to any property that you might own, any information about stocks, retirement accounts, life insurance, policies that you might own. I also ask you to think about what your objectives are when you're doing your planning. Are you worried about, your financial assets and being protected from litigation? Are you worried about protecting your children from financial predators? These are all, and as well as I'm also going to ask you to think about how you want to handle your end of life decisions. Do you want to prolong life? Do you want artificial nutrition and hydration? So these are all very uncomfortable issues to talk about, but they're so important when we meet for the family wealth planning session, so that I can understand what is important to you, and then I can tell you how we can plan to prepare for that. One of the questions I also get is, what is a difference between a will and a trust? Most people come to me and they say, I need a will. That may or may not be the case. Both wills and trusts are estate planning tools. Basically, they help distribute your property upon your death. A will is a legal document that tells the personal representative of your estate who gets what property once you die. However, even if you have a will in place, you still have to go to court through a process called probate. And probate is required to transfer ownership or title from one piece of property, from the decedent, the person who died, to the person who's inheriting the property. A living trust is also an estate planning tool, and what it does is it also can distribute assets upon your death. However, you don't have to go through court when you have a living trust. Basically, a living trust is an agreement between the grantor, or the creator of the trust, and the trustee who holds the title to all of the property. And the trustee holds the title to the property for the benefit of the beneficiaries. And so when you're alive and have a living trust, you actually act as all three. You act as the grantor, you act as the trustee, and you are the beneficiary of the trust. So what that means is that nothing changes while you're alive and you have a trust. But once upon your death, what happens is that then the trustee, your successor trustee, will distribute your assets from the trust to the beneficiaries as you've stated in your trust. So those are the differences between a will and a trust. They both are tools to distribute property upon your death, but how it's done and whether it's a court process or not, those are the differences.